Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Good afternoon to all the ICICoS 2020 participants. My name is Amabel, and I'd like to present from fellow Mrs. Dinar and Mrs. Beta of Universitas Diponegoro about Continuance intention to use CIU on Technology Acceptance Model, TAM, from M Payment. Case study TIX ID. Why? In 2016, the most popular M-Payment was paying for a taxi. But now, M-Payment and purchasing using mobile phone app become common among youngsters in Indonesia. And one of those is purchasing movie tickets online on TIX ID. Mobile app on online ticketing. Online ticketing is a ticket purchasing service via internet that can be paid by electronic payment. TIX ID is mobile app on online ticketing for purchasing movie tickets for Cinema 21 and CGV in Indonesia. After successfully paid, the ticket will appear in QR code and can be printed to see the movie in the cinema. Technology Acceptance Model, TAM. TAM is a model developed by Davis to analyze the factors that cause users to be willing to accept and use a technology. TAM has two constructive variables, perceived usefulness and perceived ease of use. This is the research model, and the hypotheses are H1, PEU positively and significantly affects PU. H2, C positively and significantly affects PU. H3, PEU positively and significantly affects CIU. H4, PU positively and significantly affects CIU. And H5, SN positively and significantly affects CIU. The method to process and analyze the data is PLS SEM with Smart PLS 3.2.9. The population of this study is the people who have used TIX ID to buy movie tickets aged 17 to 24 years old and are students. The data is collected by a questionnaire from 359 respondents that meet the criteria were used as research samples. Research variables were divided into two endogenous latent variables, continuance intention to use CIU, and perceived usefulness PU, and exogenous latent variables, perceived ease of use PEU, compatibility C, and subjective norm SN. The steps that are performed in PLS-SEM is outer and inner model analysis. In outer model analysis, there are validity and reliability testing. In validity testing, we do convergent validity. From the table, it is shown that 22 indicators have outer loading values greater than 0.5. Then, all indicators are valid and underline the latent variable. The average variance extracted, or AV, values also is greater than 0.5. Then, each latent variable is able to explain each indicator variance. Then, we do discriminant validity. From the table, all indicators on each latent variable have the highest outer loading value when paired with their own latent variable. Then, if paired with other latent variables. Therefore, each variable is able to predict indicators on their block better than other latent variables. And each variable has a higher root square AV value than the correlation between other variables. This means that all variables share a greater variance with the underlying indicator block than with other variables representing one indicator block. Then, we do reliability testing in outer model analysis. The table shows that all variables have a Cronbach alpha and composite reliability values above 0.7. This indicates that the level of consistency of respondents' answers is high, and as they should be, and the data can be relied on for further analysis. In inner model analysis, we do R-square, chi-square, and hypothesis testing. From the table, we know that each endogenous latent variable is moderate and is influenced by the R-square value, by the variables that influence it, while the rest is influenced by other variables outside the research model. And it is shown that all endogenous latent variables have chi-square values greater than 0. Then, each endogenous latent variable in the model has predictive relevance. The last is hypothesis testing. As you can see from the table, the hypotheses H1, H2, H3, H4, and H5 are accepted because the original sample are greater than 0. The t-statistics are greater than t-table 1.96, and the p-value are less than equal 0.05. So, the conclusions are: the factors that affect continuance intention to use M payment on TIX ID are perceived ease of use, perceived usefulness, and subjective norm. Compatibility also found has significant effect on perceived usefulness. The limitation of this study used a small sample of data and a limited age range. Thank you. Wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.